And I look over at him, and he's just got this terrified look on his face because the T-Rex scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he goes, Dad, I peed my pants. And I looked down, and sure enough, he peed his pants.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to save you from this.
Right.
From this. So I reached down into the water, and I grabbed some water, and I splashed. I'm like, oh my gosh, we got splashed. Look at our pants are all wet.
Dad of the year. Look at you.
There you
Wow,
go.
what a
That's
save.
amazing.
Yep, just like that. I didn't want him to be. It was scary. I didn't want him to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And you didn't tell him you peed your pants too.
Well, maybe, yeah. You know,
You're like, oh no, look at my pants.
Happened to me also.
2 pants, 1 stone.
That
There you go.
happened. Inspired by the adventures of our nurses, therapists, and techs, A Beer with Atlas is the only healthcare traveling, craft beer drinking podcast. Each week, we'll open a few beers, talk about the brewery and the style of beer, and then dive into some research curated specifically for each episode. In the end, we hope each one sounds like a conversation you'd have with your friends while enjoying a few cold ones.
Welcome to another episode of A Beer with Atlas. I'm Rich.
I'm Brian.
I'm Dolan.
Courtesy of our friends at Sense. Now, you may not know what Sense is.
Yeah, Sense. What's that?
But you have probably, as a traveling healthcare professional, if you work for us, you've probably experienced their product. So let's say it's your half birthday, and you get a text
Wait,
from us.
is a half birthday a thing?
It is a thing.
It's
Yeah.
a thing here.
It is a thing here.
Whoa, all right.
Yeah.
And you get a pair of socks on your half birthday.
Oh, snap.
My half birthday's in a month and a half from now.
So Dolan will get a pair of socks.
Hey.
Designed by Gary Darling on our brand
Really?
team. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
And they
my
are
gosh.
ridiculous and ugly and awesome all at the same
Oh,
time.
I love an ugly sock.
They're
I'm a
compression
fan.
socks, right?
They are.
Yeah, keep that blood flowing. Mm.
You know,
Or-
we had a pair of Atlas compression socks, right? And I had them.
Yeah.
And the last time, I guess the most recent time my wife was pregnant.
Yeah.
Hopefully the last time. She borrowed those compression socks.
You're done it too then?
Oh
Is that-
yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
I was done it before zero. But yeah, so she loved those socks.
Oh.
Came in very handy with
Nice.
pregnancy. So you
All
know
right.
you don't gotta have the beatus to wear the compression socks.
Right.
You
There
could
you
also
go.
be pregnant too.
Well, there you go. And they work, right? Or just be on your feet.
they worked
a
for
long
her.
time.
She was working 18-hour days.
Yep.
There you go.
Or let's say as a traveler, and this would be Brian's department.
Okay.
Your ACLS is going to expire,
Oh yeah.
Right?
Oh, you better get that class.
right?
Yeah.
You will get a text or an email saying, "Hey, guess what? Your ACLS is expiring."
You'll get more than one email.
Exactly.
I promise you.
The first ones you get comes from a company called Sense.
Okay.
And they do a lot of, like, I get notifications about, like, I just got one today about Father's Day. There's
Yeah.
a company that I follow, baseball brands or whatever, and they use Sense to send notifications out. Hey, half price for Father's Day gifts or
that's cool.
whatever. So we use them here. If you've listened to, this was probably last month, I talked on Atlas All Access about Bullhorn,
Yeah.
the CRM that we use here for all of that. They bolt on very nicely to Bullhorn.
Okay.
So those guys have connections. At least one of them has ties back to Omaha. And that's why Dolan has tried this beer before from Foam Brewing, from Foam Brewers.
Okay.
It's called Constellations. And then it also says Clever Girls underneath. But
I have that information.
Oh,
Don't worry.
okay,
I got
okay,
us
good.
covered on that.
and they know us, right? We've spent some time with the Sense guys.
Okay.
So they definitely know us.
I was gonna say, how the heck did we get this beer? But all right.
Oh, they know
Sounds
us.
like they know what's up.
This is a sour IPA.
Yeah.
We haven't done a lot of those.
One of my favorite styles, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah, I would say top 3 style for sure.
Yeah.
Holy cow!
Those guys know us. They know our beer habits.
It pours like just a straight up hazy IPA.
It does. Yeah. So Foam Brewing is located at 112 Lake Street, Burlington, Vermont. Open Sunday through Thursday, noon to 10.
Okay.
Sunday through Thursday, noon to 10. Friday and Saturday, noon to midnight 30.
Midnight 30. Whoa, you give them an extra
Midnight
30
30.
minutes in
An
there.
extra 30 minutes. Well, you know what? Ring the bell at midnight.
That's right.
Last
call. Get your stuff together.
Yeah.
Let's
Get
go.
one last pint,
Huh.
and there you go. And then call your Uber and get your ass home.
I really love this can art.
I
Like,
figured
a lot.
Dolan would like that can.
I mean, it's
look
cool.
at it.
It looks like they just took a sticker that they had and just
Yeah.
plop right on the can.
Slapped it on, and then they
And
put
it's a
like
beer glass with the happy face thing.
Yep, and a cat that has like glowy eyes,
Lasery
or,
eyes.
Like, I don't even say I'd say glowy or lasery eyes.
Yeah, lasery,
I'd say
lasery.
flashlights in
For
place
eyes.
of their eye sockets, right?
I mean, you've taken pictures of a cat before.
Yeah.
It always shows up weird. Always.
it's
Well-
very pop punk. Like I could see this being on like Avril Lavigne's new
Totally.
album.
Concert T-shirt or
Yeah,
something.
something weird like that.
Huh.
I was gonna say, just cats in general are evil. They always have
Yeah.
been.
Yep.
And they're great.
Yeah.
Here's what first of all, I just want to say about Burlington, Vermont. So when my wife was in med school, right, and she had to apply to go and do like a fellowship or something to further her studies and career, we had about 10 cities that we had chosen to be one of the ones that maybe we'd want to go to. And Burlington, Vermont was one of the ones that we
Really?
had chosen. The reason we didn't pick to go there was because it's cold as shit. And a lot of the
Vermont.
places there, they have like the huge, like, big metal drum of whatever that is, not propane, kerosene, I don't know, but it's like how they ran their furnace was run on like a liquid
Probably
system.
propane. Yeah.
And it was just like, I don't know how to, no, I don't need that.
That's Western Nebraska, though, right?
Well, I don't live there either, so
Okay.
I mean, we had propane on the farm,
Yeah.
but that wasn't,
One of my earliest
tank,
memories,
right?
though, was like whamming a stick
Oh, it
on the
sounded
big,
cool, didn't it?
It sounded like the Star Wars like laser, like pew pew pew.
Yep.
It sounded like that.
and they were just high enough. It was hard to jump onto it.
Yeah, you couldn't.
And you would slide down because there was no edge.
No,
so you,
no.
you had to grow up a little bit before you could jump on there and ride it like a bull.
It's like a big weird camel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Propane
Round.
tanks. That's the content you're getting here. All right. Constellations Sour IPA, 7%.
Yeah, it's IPA.
Does it taste like 7%?
No, it's delicious.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Dry hop. Guess what? It took me writing down these to go, aha, I get it. I get what they're doing.
Okay.
Galaxy hops,
Yeah.
Comet hops, and Strata hops.
Okay.
Constellations.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Duh. Should make sense now, right? But, Strata and Comet and Galaxy,
Yep.
you don't see Comet like hardly ever anymore.
Have
So,
we ever had?
I don't think so. I don't think so. This is a collaboration beer with Clever Girls. You mentioned it earlier. Guess what? They're a band
Oh,
They're
out
a
of
band?
out of Burlington, Vermont.
no idea.
Oh, they're not a brewery. They're a band.
They're a band.
Are they
Oh.
local, big, small?
They're local, out of Burlington.
Okay.
And their album, the most recent one,
Okay.
is called Constellations.
Oh.
It's not this art, is it?
It's not that art.
Okay.
Oh.
I could see that being okay.
They would, if I would describe their music, I would say it's like crunchy guitar, grungy meets pop music.
Okay.
So it's that kind of style of tune with a female singer.
It's been tainted by your punch. Fight broke out. A storm from above, and it's silly, but I hope.
You know,
go ahead.
I'm not surprised because this was, and Dolan has met these guys before. I unfortunately missed them when they were in town. But one of the guys from Sense, who we work with very closely, his uncle owned and ran the Ranch Bowl.
Oh, okay.
And
Crazy.
if you're familiar with Omaha at all,
That's the music mecca. It was
absolutely,
Back in the day.
it's a Walmart parking lot now, unfortunately. But it was half bowling alley, half music venue.
Yes.
And the music venue was not very big.
Nope.
But if you were anyone in the 90s,
Yeah.
you played two places in the Midwest, the Ranch Bowl and the Bottleneck in Lawrence,
Yeah.
Kansas. And that's it. Like so many bands, Pearl Jam, Smashing Pumpkins,
So many bands.
the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, they
Yeah.
played the
Goldfinger,
Ranch.
I saw there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I have a book on my desk with every single band that has played at the Ranch Bowl.
Really?
Listed.
Courtesy of The Sense guys.
Is that where that came from?
That's exactly where it came from.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, his uncle now owns a place called...
Wasn't. No, I'm thinking of a different venue. I thought it was Winchester's or whatever.
it's an Irish...
Weavers. No.
Nope. It's an Irish pub down on... Why can't I'm blanking on the name.
I can't think of the name either.
Yeah. Lane Andreessen, director of IT here at Atlas, goes there all...
Brazenhead.
There we go.
Yes. Brazenhead off of
there it is.
Dodge.
Yeah, I've been there. They have good grub.
Yeah.
Oh, such good
And a pretty
food.
good beer selection.
Arguably one of the best Irish pubs that we have here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
With some
for sure.
ridiculously
You know
good
the little
food.
lounge section in Brazenhead. So what they've got is like you open the front doors, and the entire place Brazenhead is based off of a real place in Ireland. I forget what the place
okay.
is called.
Oh.
Maybe it's Brazenhead there too. I don't know. But everything from the tables, the booth, the walls, the art on the walls is an exact
Like a replica?
Weird.
of a
I didn't
place
know
from
that.
Irish
Oh, I didn't
or
either.
from Ireland. Yeah, and
They have a big bar in there, which
yeah,
is nice.
yeah. So the bar goes around or whatever, but they got a lot of awesome food that is just amazing. But then there's this lounge area that I particularly like. You walk in, and instead of going to the bar, you can walk into this area with a bunch of couches and chairs and
Off to the
really
right.
comfy things. Yeah, off to the right
yeah.
from the front door. And they always have like a circle of just acoustic old timer musicians just hanging
just
out there
playing or whatever?
jamming.
Huh.
Yeah, and they're always posting events like, "Hey, bring your acoustic guitar, come jam with us. It's an open jam or whatever." I've never ever had the balls to go in there
and show up and play?
Yeah, because these guys have been doing it forever,
Oh,
and I just
sure.
feel like I'd be like just
Yeah. Yeah, but they would
I'd
love you
rather-
to come probably.
Absolutely.
Probably.
Yeah.
But awesome thing to listen to. And yeah, you brought up Lane, our IT guy. The Atlas IT guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He said that one of his friends actually plays in that little group and goes down there and jams and whatever. So he says he goes down there and listens to them. And I've only heard them once, and I had no idea there was a connection there.
I went to the Ranch Bowl a number of times before they tore it down. I saw some great bands there. But then my tie back to Brazenhead would be shortly after it opened. So before Atlas, before Medical Solutions, before Ameritrade, I managed boys' toys at Toys R Us here in the one of the biggest Toys R Us in the state of Nebraska, if not the biggest here.
Which is now a huge beer store.
Yes, yeah. No, that's the one at Oakview.
Oh, okay, so that was a
I was
different
at 76th and Dodge.
Okay.
Which was still a very large store. And we had our Christmas party there at the Brazenhead right after it opened. And I have a very fun picture of myself and two other guys. We called ourselves the Job Squad. It's an old wrestling term because we did what nobody else wanted to do. And we took a picture there. And it was one of my last pictures at Toys R Us before I left. So I have a very soft spot for the Brazenhead.
For the Brazenhead.
Yeah.
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 That's where the term jobber came from.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Show up, pin, get
Yeah.
paid, go home.
Exactly.
home.
Yep.
This brewery seems to like music. And here's why.
All right.
They have, and these are all double IPAs. These are all DIPAs. They have one that's called Built to Spill, which is a band.
Okay.
They have one called Pavement, which is a band.
I like Pavement.
And
yeah.
then this one, maybe a tiny stretch. A zero is missing. Galaxy 500.
So like Power Man 5000. Okay.
Well, there
yeah.
is, there is
Yeah.
the other band with that too. So all DIPAs. The Night has 1,000 Eyes, which was a Neil Sedaka song, I think, or somebody.
Yeah.
That's a DIPA. It's a bomber.
Okay.
Toys in the Attic, the Aerosmith album that had the big hit on it, I believe. That's an IPA.
Okay.
And currently, if you get that in the tap room, $2 per pint goes to Let's Grow Kids Vermont. So it's a charity beer.
Sweet.
So that's pretty cool.
I love drinking beer for charity.
Yep.
It's about the best beer there is. Some of the food items they have, because they had food stuff there.
Yep.
If you're there in Burlington, something I'd never seen, smoked fish dip.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've
You've
never
had
seen
this?
this. I've never
yes,
seen it before.
yeah. You
I've never,
have.
definitely not seen it at a
I've
brewery.
never had that
Yes.
before.
Here's what was in this one: trout, capers, scallions, and dill.
Oh, I could get down with that.
Smoked trout is delicious.
Yeah, for
oh
sure.
my goodness.
I love capers too. Is that weird? I love
No,
capers.
no.
Pretty salty.
Yeah.
That's good though.
But
Yeah.
I like, how do you like capers and not olives?
No, I don't like olives.
My wife does not like olives either.
Different
Okay.
flavor. Different flavor.
Okay.
Capers
Okay.
doesn't make everything taste like capers. Olives makes everything taste like
Olives have no
olives.
taste.
No, that's bullshit.
You're
That's
talking
not
about
true.
like the green sour olives, or you're talking about all olives?
I'm talking about black olives, especially.
Oh my gosh,
yeah.
those are my favorite.
Ugh.
I love putting them. I used to put them on my finger.
Hell yeah, my son does that still.
Yeah.
They have something called white bean dip, which I'm assuming is kind of like hummus.
Hummus?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then they had Marcona almonds, which I've never heard of.
Never had
But it
those.
was a thing that you could get there. Some of the merchandise stuff that they had, pretty cool as far as price-wise. They have a branded camp cup. So, like what we had, like Atlas, maybe a couple years ago had like
the
those.
mugs, yeah.
Yeah, they had one and they had a handle at the very tippy top, which looked like I actually could put my finger in it. Because some of the ones that I've seen, a lot of those kind of camping things, I can't fit my fat fingers in.
Yeah.
So this one looked like I could actually swing it because it was at the top and it looked cool. But then they have glassware sets of 2. So you get 2 Pilsners, 2 TQs, or 2 what they call Bristol Schwenkers, which is more like a wheat beer style glass. So the Pilsners are $16 for 2.
Oh, nice.
The TQs are $20 for 2, which is pretty good still.
Okay.
Branded, of course.
$10 a piece. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And then the other wheat beer ones were $16, so $8 a piece.
Well, here's the deal. Like, if you drink by yourself, you're an alcoholic. If you drink with friends,
Right.
one or more, right, then it's
Yeah.
a hobby.
I've always said if your dog's home, you're not alone, or a cat or fish or whatever you've got.
Dolan knows.
Yeah.
Dolan knows. My dog would finish off.
Yep.
He'd finish off
Hey,
my beers.
dogs love beer.
Yeah.
They have this one hat. They called it unstructured 5-panel hat. It looked like a sack.
Like a floppy?
Kind of. It just looked like you took a hat and then you smushed it. And it wasn't exactly my style, but I'd never seen anything like it. And I was like, all right, I'll write it down. But they also they had a book. So like a home brew book.
Okay.
I was talking about how they went from home brew to like running a brewery.
Yeah.
And it had recipes in it, but also had like a history of like, here's how we started, here's where we're going, here's where we're at. And I've never seen a brewery that had their own book before. I thought that was pretty cool.
Not like that, no.
And then the other thing that they had was, I guess the name of maybe like their production stuff is the House of Fermentology. That's what they call themselves.
Oh.
So
okay.
kind of like the biology part of it or
Very
the sciencey stuff.
Yeah.
They have that sort of stuff. And they had some shirts that mention that. So HOF or whatever, but House of Fermentology is a thing that they have.
Okay.
And then one of the most recent beers that I saw that they had, it was called For You, which is in quotes. It's a pale ale, and it's 100% of ingredients from Vermont.
Oh.
So we've seen those in Nebraska and
Yep.
other states have done, 100% whatever.
Colorado, we've seen that before, yeah.
But that's their version of it. It's called For You. It's their new pale ale. So that's what I know about them.
Foam Brewing was founded in 2016, and I took this right off their website because I thought it was kind of fun. They call themselves an eclectic group of industrial professionals with a shared appreciation for brewing, science, art, music, and culture.
That makes sense.
There you go. Formed like a lot of breweries, like a lot of the stories that we have are very similar. So these 3 guys, Todd Hare, Haire, Robert Grimm, and Sam Keene, all work together at Switchback Brewing. And it sounds familiar, but
Switchback?
Switchback.
Sounds like a mountain range. Or
It's there in
something,
Vermont.
right? Okay.
So the 2, Robert and Sam, are younger. And Todd, at the time, 2015, was like 47 years old, so about our age.
Okay.
Slightly younger than me, just a little bit older than you.
Yeah.
And they called him, and they said, "Hey, Todd, we'd like to meet with you." And he thought, "Shit, they're gonna quit." And because they were all brewing together
Yeah, and
there
he's
at
like,
Switchback.
"Oh, now I'm gonna
like
work
I'm gonna have to
80
work
hours."
a ton of
Yeah.
hours, exactly. And so they got together, and they didn't say where. They got together and they said, "Hey, we're gonna start our own brewery or whatever." And Todd was like, "Okay, cool." And he's like, "No, we want you to be part of this with us." Like he really thought that that's what it was going to be, and they invited him in. Now they were both like college grads, just like shortly out of college,
Yeah.
working there at the time, in their 20s, and he was clearly older, twice as
Yeah.
old as them, right? And He's like,
That's
nope.
cool.
And he said something that my wife said it to me when we started Atlas back in 10 years ago. It totally rings true. So when he told the Burlington Free Press this, as they were kind of working through that first year that they were open, Todd said, "I'd rather regret doing it than regret not doing it."
Yeah, that's super true.
Like that's my wife said that. She's like, if you don't, when I was 37 years old, she's like, if you don't do this now, you're never gonna know, and you're gonna be pissed that you didn't do it.
Yeah.
And even if you fail, that's okay. At least you tried.
That's like
Same
they
thing.
say it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Yep.
One of those deals.
Exactly.
I like that.
So yeah. So he's like, you know what? What the hell? Let's do it. Now, this is after talking to those guys. So I just saw these guys out at in Boston it was last month.
Yeah.
And they said Foam has taken over as their number one brewery. Like that's the brewery they like the most.
Are these guys from this area?
They're from the
Vermont?
Northeast, yeah.
Okay.
They're from a couple of them are from Connecticut. There's one guy that lives up in I want to say Maine.
Okay.
I want to say that's right. Another guy's in New Jersey, I think. Anyway, this has become their favorite brewery. And if they're making IPA, like sour IPAs like this,
Dude, it tastes amazing.
this is everything I want out of a sour IPA.
I mean, it's like IPA for like 80%. And then there's just a little,
Yeah.
like a tickle in your cheek. And you're like,
Yep.
oh, that's a little sour.
It's a sour.
And then you go back after it again. It's real good. What do you think, Dolan?
Like I said, it's one of my favorite styles. I believe I already untapped this. I don't know what I untapped it, but if I untapped it anything lower than a 4, I was wrong. So, but yeah, this is something that I would always drink. And I don't even know if sour IPAs, the reason why I like them so much is because I like them, or if it's just like a beer that my wife and I mutually agree on. So
Yeah.
I just love the fact that like this, I know would be a beer that we could both drink from.
Yeah. That's a big thing, especially if that's where you're doing your drinking is with somebody else.
Exactly.
Right.
I also like I definitely like beers that are like two things combined.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things. Or really it just has to be a beer that like you drink it and it changes. Things happen in the drink itself. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty cool because a lot of times when you're it's a domestic beer, it's the same thing every time, and when you're drinking this, every drink is like, whoa, what is going on? It's just so different. Just changes everything about it.
Right.
So I like those. You ready for some off the cuff researchy stuff?
Absolutely.
Off the cuff.
Well, it's like, I thought I wasn't sure where to go with this. And I saw the band, and I did some deep dive on them, and I listened to some of their tunes on Spotify, and I was like, these are pretty good.
Yeah.
But I like the name Clever Girls.
Okay.
And there's a movie out right now. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's like a Jurassic Park movie.
Oh, I heard of it. Yeah.
And Clever Girls made me think of this quote from the original Jurassic Park movie, which I saw like 100 times. It was like a 93.
Oh, yes.
And we're going to do a little research on that.
On Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically, the guy that says the quote.
Okay. All right.
In the movie, his name is Robert Muldoon.
Yep.
He was like the game warden of Jurassic Park.
Okay.
So he dies.
He's the one.
Spoiler.
Does he get eaten by the T-Rex? Is it the one?
No, he's killed by the raptors.
The raptors, yeah.
So he's in the woods trying to kill one in the forest, and he's got one in his sights. And guess what? They're hunting in a pack, and this other one comes and he says, "Clever girl," and she kills him.
Eats him.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's where that comes from.
Huh.
So I did just a little synopsis of his part of the movie.
Okay.
If we haven't, maybe you're like me and
Been a long time.
yeah, almost 30 years.
Yeah.
He, in the book, because I read the book. Did you ever read the books? Crichton
No,
books?
no.
Okay. So in the book, he had a big part. And previously, he worked for John Hammond in Kenya. So he had like a big game park in Kenya, like a safari park or something. And he was like the game warden of that place.
Okay.
And then from there, he worked his way up and he got the job as being the head raptor guy on the island. Island Nublar, I think is what it was called.
Wow. And John Hammond's the old guy, right?
He's the owner.
Welcome
yeah.
to Jurassic Park. That
He's the
guy.
one with the grandkids.
Yes.
Over there. Yes, he's the guy that owns the thing.
Yep.
So in the movie, they said he was cautious, proficient with weaponry, and he was a skilled hunter. He had the safari outfit with the hat and the, had the rifle and that sort of thing. So you're supposed to, just visually see he knows what he's doing. He can handle himself, right? So in the movie, he's kind of called to arms at the part where the power goes out and the Jeeps stop working, I think, or were they Jeeps or were they Fords? I can't remember.
The Jeeps,
something like that.
Yep.
So
like that.
Hammond says, "Hey, you got to go get my grandkids." Well, guess who else is out there? Was like Sam Neill's character.
Yes.
So Ellie Statler, goes with him because she's like, I gotta go find my dude. This is after she's digging through the poop pile. Remember that with the Triceratops?
Triceratops, yeah.
And he's laying there and they're feeling him. So then the power goes out. So then he sends her and him out to go find the kids and Sam Elliott's character, or Sam, his character.
All thanks to Newman, by the way.
Yeah, messy desk.
Right.
So he does that. He's also the guy in the movie that saves Jeff Goldblum's character. So they go out to the T-Rex paddock.
Oh, yeah.
And shit's destroyed.
Yep.
And Malcolm's laying underneath like the roof of the building, and he's like, and he's the guy that picks him up and carries him and puts him in the Jeep. And he's also the guy that drives the Jeep. So when the T-Rex is chasing him, and he's like trying to put it in gear, and Goldblum's like leaned back on him and he can't shift it exactly how he wants.
Yep.
He's the one that gets him out of there.
Wow.
So he's like a heroic character, right? And he saves Ellie's life, Ellie Statler, as well, outside the raptor thing. Tells her to run for it. She's like, I'm not going to make it. He's like, just do it. I got you covered.
Yep.
She makes it. He doesn't. So spoilers on that. He died. But that's where it comes from.
Well, they were clever.
Clever girl is something that me and my friends still say to each other every once in a while. It's still a thing that happens in the text chain. And that movie, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure it's busting box office things. And the last one I saw, it wasn't that great.
It's fine.
Wasn't that great.
That's the one with the kids in the bubble ball thing, right?
I think it was one where they were at like a house. They were like underground selling dinosaurs. Do you remember this? It was like an auction for like black market dinosaurs selling.
Vaguely.
And the dinosaurs got loose in this house and they were like chasing the people around. And I was like, dinosaurs wouldn't fit in a house. And I saw it in New Mexico. That's how long ago this movie came out.
Weird.
Which one I was on? It was like 5 years ago, probably.
Did you download the wrong movie?
No, I went to the theater.
Oh.
And saw it.
Huh.
Yeah, so...
You said New Mexico or Mexico?
Yeah, New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
When I was on a vacation. I think it was not Santa Fe. What's the... Taos. It was in Taos.
Taos? Okay.
Taos, New Mexico. I saw that movie. But yeah, so that's out. Clever Girls. I think that's where the band got their name.
Maybe.
And...
I'm thinking of Jurassic World.
Yes.
The one where they... Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think you're thinking of that. When they get in that bubble ball thing.
Yeah.
And they're driving
and they're trying to crack it open.
And the guy from New Girl was like the nerdy scientist guy in chair.
No.
The main guy in New Girl. Have you ever seen New Girl?
Never seen New Girl.
The boyfriend to
You can keep saying that.
Dang.
We
Still
won't
don't
know.
know. Still
Okay.
shaking our head.
Jackson. Is his last name Jackson?
I don't know. He looks like
Samuel L? No.
no.
Okay.
No.
I don't know.
No.
But I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah, he's in that movie, and it's where they like bring back Jurassic Park, but like it's Jurassic World, and it's better.
So
and,
which of the Jurassic Park movies is your favorite?
That's tough. The first one. The first one was so... Jurassic Park was groundbreaking for the time.
Was... Yeah, with the CGI.
Yes.
I mean, like when they're driving out in the Jeep, and he's looking up, and he sees a Brachiosaurus, and he taps her on the head, and she looks up and sees it. That's how I was at the movie. I was like...
Oh,
alive
and he
dinosaur.
does like the glass,
Yeah.
he pulls his glasses off.
Yeah.
And,
But you know which one I really like? I think it's number 3. Vince Vaughn is in that one.
I recall that.
And Jeff Goldblum and it's like his daughter or stepdaughter like sneaks aboard and goes to the island with him.
Yep.
That's my favorite one because it was true to the book, and there was the whole like pterodactyl. They had like an aviary with pterodactyls in it, and in the book it was super scary. And they did that in the movie where they had to like go through this river in the pterodactyl zone, and these things were coming after them. That's my favorite of those movies.
I have a fun Jurassic story here for
Okay.
you. Have you ever been to Universal Studios?
A long time ago.
in Florida, and rode the Jurassic Park ride.
Previous to Jurassic Park. No.
Okay, so they have a ride, and it's fun. It's a water ride, and you get in the thing, and it takes you through the water
Sure.
and stuff, and then
Like a log ride?
like a log ride.
Okay.
Yeah. And at the very end, of course, the log ride, you go and you go up. Well, as you're going up, there's a big Tyrannosaurus head, and it looks like you're going into his mouth.
Oh, sweet.
And then as soon as you get to his mouth, then it drops out, and you go, and you go down, and the water splashes up.
Yeah.
So Maddox was very young at the time, very young, maybe too young for the ride, but
Sure.
he wanted to go on it because it was dinosaurs.
And you're like, all right.
Sure, fine. Afterwards, we get down to the bottom, and we didn't get splashed with water too bad. And I look over at him, and he's just got this terrified look on his face because the T-Rex scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he goes, Dad, I peed my pants. And I looked down, and sure enough, he peed his pants.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to save you from this.
Right.
From this. So I reached down into the
Yeah,
water, and I grabbed
splashed
some
a little
water, and I
bit.
splashed. I'm like, oh my gosh, we got splashed. Look at our pants are all wet.
Dad of the year. Look
There
at
you go.
you.
There you
Wow,
go.
what a
That's
save.
amazing.
Yeah, just like that. I didn't want him to be. It was scary. I didn't want him to
Yeah.
be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And you didn't tell him
Oh.
you peed your pants too.
Well, maybe, yeah.
You're like, oh no, look at my pants.
Happened to me also.
2 pants, 1 stone.
That
There you go.
happened.
He probably doesn't even remember, but
Probably not.
his sisters were there with
Well,
us.
he'll know it now.
and stuff. So there you go. All right, TripAdvisor.
Okay.
You know how much I hate the terrible reviews.
Or you love them.
Well, yes,
Yeah. You love to hate them.
I love to hate them.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Also, we got a bad one.
Oh boy, yes. From Stephen Berto.
Oh.
Yeah, here we go. 2017. The title is just called IPA Hell. 1 star. I know Vermont has become an IPA nirvana for some, and I said that on purpose.
Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's probably how this idiot said it.
He would
in his
say it,
head.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, my commentary came out already. There you go. For some, or for me, IPA hell. I hate them. 3 exclamation points.
Yeah.
We were looking for a new brewery to visit while in Vermont, and after reading the reviews of Foam, we decided to go. What a mistake on our part. I think they were pouring 9 beers from the tap, 7 IPAs, 1 wild yeast ale. I think that's what they called it. And 1 sour. In my opinion, not 1 beer worth trying. In the middle of winter, I was hoping for stouts, porters, red ales, even Scotch ales. So the guy kind of knew what he was looking for. But no, all summertime beers. The room is beautiful and the view is stunning. I just wish the beers were more diverse with a little more to my liking. My in upper letters, right? Needless to say, we will not be going back anytime soon.
So they made great beer, just the kind he doesn't like. So
Yes.
1 star.
So 1 star.
Man, screw that.
Selfish bastard.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he even knew what he liked and didn't like. So
Why would you go?
I mean, it wasn't like they had in the reviews, oh, we have 8 stouts right now.
Right.
He must have known that.
And it's 2017. The information is available on the internet.
Yeah,
you can go
it
look
was
and
back
find
then.
it.
Yeah, we had the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what you're getting yourself
We
into.
even had On Tap back then. You could have went on their brewery website on
Exactly.
On Tap and saw what was there.
You know what he didn't have back then?
What?
A beer with Atlas.
No, that's
There
true.
we go. There we go.
That's true.
Untapped.
Okay.
937 check-ins on this beer, so not very many.
No.
I was kind of shocked when I saw how few
Okay.
check-ins we had on this beer. Where do you think we land?
Man. I mean, this is a beer, we've said this before, but this is a beer you're ordering on purpose,
Absolutely.
right? If you see that descriptor,
Yep.
a lot of people, like my father-in-law, don't like IPA.
Yep.
And then you combine a sour with it too, they're just like, not for me.
What if you don't like sours?
I will say 3.84.
Okay, Dolan?
I'm going 4.25. I really like this beer
Oh.
a lot.
Right in the middle, 3.97.
That's pretty good,
Ooh.
right? That's pretty good.
I'd go 4 on this. This is exactly what I'd want out of sour
Yeah.
IPA. Exactly.
I thought it would be a little higher. Yeah, it should be.
It's more IPA than sour, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
For me, at least, that's how it tasted. But
I love the sour at the end of it,
Uh-huh.
though. Like I think it's got something for everybody here. At least if you like those 2 styles, it has what you're looking for.
yeah, it's super good. There's no like hoppy bitterness or anything. So it's not one of those kind of IPAs.
No.
It still has some fruity sweetness to it, and then there's some sour at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So this whole time I've been on my phone trying to figure this out.
He has
Okay.
furiously been searching for something.
yeah.
Furiously. Okay,
Yeah.
so I brought up the New Girl
Yeah.
cast or
Oh, he's
whatever.
still on this.
Jake
Okay.
Johnson.
Jake Johnson. His brother in the show is Nick Kroll, and they look alike.
Nick Kroll. Nick Kroll's in the movie?
In the like he's in New Girl as the brother.
Oh, okay.
And so, but that's who I was thinking of. Anyway,
And he's not in the movie.
yeah.
Spoilers.
Still don't know who
Nick
this
Kroll,
is.
not in
Nick
it.
Kroll?
No.
Oh, he's in Big Mouth. He's the Big Mouth guy. If you ever
Well,
seen that
that's
on
what he's
Netflix.
known for. But he's been in like everything.
Oh, yeah.
Like all the comedy movies. He's like a comedian.
He's real
All the
funny.
comedy movies?
He's a
Yeah.
big voice guy. But he's in charge of Big Mouth and the new spinoff that's on Netflix.
Let's see some of the things.
He had a Nick Kroll show. It was a sketch show.
No,
Yeah,
still
Kroll show.
Oh, so funny.
He was in Sasha's Party, The League. He was in Sing,
Yeah.
Uncle Drew.
Still no. Uncle
Adam's
Drew.
Family.
Wasn't that the basketball?
Basketball
Yeah, where
movie,
they were
yeah.
old guys. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam's Family, the animated one. Yeah, he's a big. I guess he's a big.
He's Uncle
Voice guy.
Fester in the Addams Family movies,
Ah.
the animated ones.
Still don't know.
Yeah, his dad's super rich too, which is cool.
Here's what I do know. If the guys from Sense want to send us any more beers,
We'll drink them.
we will definitely drink them.
Yeah.
All of them.
All right.
Every one of them. Yeah. And they come back to Omaha often too, so feel free to.
We can get them some beers.
We got an empty seat, 2 seats right here.
You know what? We could probably make room for 3 or 4 seats
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
if we squeezed in.
Next week, we are not doing a brewery in particular.
Huh.
We're going to do a style
We've never done this.
that we've never done.
Interesting.
That might be one of my favorite styles, too.
All right.
If you put one of these on a tap list,
Yeah.
I will order it over anything else that you've got first. I want to try this first.
Oh, snap.
Right. So we will do that style from 2 different breweries.
Okay, so
Next.
2 different beers.
2 different beers, 2
All right.
different breweries.
Double the fun.
Yeah, both in the Midwest. Both, well, kind of. I mean, I
Ish.
guess mountains, Colorado, and Missouri. So
Oh, yeah, that's the
Okay.
middle.
Yeah.
there we go. So until then, we ain't going anywhere for a while.
Let's have another beer.
Will the Sense guys join us?
I hope so. Thank you for listening to A Beer with Atlas. Special thanks to our brand team for producing the show. Each episode of A Beer with Atlas is powered by Atlas MedStaff, an industry leader in travel healthcare staffing.